Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Tiffany Felix with us, and Tiffany, I must say, I'm not quite sure where to start, but I think we should start with a little history of how you got to where you are now and this wonderful nonprofit that you're running.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, Bruce. I'm so happy to be here. So, started my I am a community and well-being person at heart. Started my career in environmental health and safety. So at the core of who I am is about the people, and retired from corporate America, specifically Paramount Global, at the end of last year as the Senior Vice President of Global Environmental Health and Safety.
Wow.
Yep. And now I have a nonprofit organization that is called Wholistic Soul.
And Wholistic Soul, tell us a little bit about what you do with Wholistic Soul.
So Wholistic Soul came to me as kind of my brainchild in during the pandemic in 2020. And the mission of Wholistic Soul is to elevate community in humanity, freedom, and joy. And that is done through the vision of total well-being, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, and social well-being, to get people to live the best version of their life, regardless of where they are in their respective journey. It's a grassroots community volunteer-based movement that is being created.
So tell me, do you work in groups with some of these folks? And do you also work individually with folks, with people?
Yes, great question. So yeah, so I am at the core and essence of who I am. It is my purpose. I really believe my purpose is all about people. And so, and that's why I've had such a long career. You don't find a lot of people that will be in their same career from what they got their college degree in till what they retire in, unless they went into like a professional career, like a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant or an engineer. But for me to be in environmental health and safety, that was like really truly my calling. Even though I've managed other functions, my baby's always been environmental health and safety. So to answer your question, Wholistic Soul is about building community. In a lot of instances, it's easier for people to build community if they know how to build community. And that starts with an we, our, and us mindset, and less about an I, me, and my. But that's learned behavior. You have to teach people and help people get to the we, our, and our. So yes, I do community, cohorts, peer-to-peer, but I also do what I call social coaching. SOULCIAL. And so, because everything about us is rooted in our soul. So social coaching is done one-on-one. Most of the social coaching sessions that I do are with young people. One couple are in college, some right immediately after college, some didn't go to college but are young adults, and just trying to get them further in their journey of humanity, freedom, and joy.
That is fantastic. So you're running groups with them, you're coaching individually, but along your way here, you actually did run some facility management, which is kind of our bailiwick here in this podcast about real estate. So tell us how that happened.
Yeah, so as most facility people know, when you're looking at certain organizations, even large organizations, me working at ESPN, well, even earlier than that, my second job out of college, I worked for Nissan Motor Corporation
Oh, wow.
as the environmental health and safety coordinator. I was in my 20s. I reported in through facilities. My second job out of college, Ingram Micro, reported into facilities. Then I went into consulting while my kids were young, came back to corporate. ESPN was my first media and entertainment company, Reported, built out LA Live
Oh,
production
wow.
facility, part of the team there at LA Live when ESPN decided they wanted to have a West Coast presence in Los Angeles. I was part of the facility. EHS reported into facilities. Then I went on to NBC Universal, did risk engineering, and worked a lot with facilities in building out operations and facilities for NBC, Universal, and Comcast to make sure that they were redundant and resilient so that any kind of catastrophic event, there wasn't a business interruption exposure. So I would evaluate and make sure that they were built out with that level of business continuity and resiliency. And so I was very much involved with facility planners, third-party construction firms. So I've always, my entire career, been exposed to facilities. My last job, Paramount Global, I reported into the executive vice president before I departed, the executive vice president of global real estate and facilities.
Oh, wow. So I'm curious, given your background, how much could you intervene a little bit and get some climate action going in there?
Oh, quite a bit, quite a bit. So, actually, as part of my role, I was part of the EHS committee as part of the ESG department. And one of the elements that they were focused on was climate action. When I got my degree at Berkeley, most of my field went into conservation. This is the
Mm.
80s. I'm dating myself here, Bruce. This is in the 80s. So they were
Never heard of it, you know.
most of them were involved in conservation,
Mm,
looking at the climate. You know, Berkeley was one of the early programs that had an environmental degree, but I wanted to go into compliance
mm.
because I knew that if I could marry and create a harmonious relationship between the community, the environment, and the employer or the organization, and keep them in compliance, but also ensure that those people kept their jobs. A lot of conservationists are like, shut it down, get rid of the manufacturer. Well, then you're impacting people's jobs. So that's why I went into compliance. So a lot of exposure to sustainability, environmental, risk engineering, facilities management, and even real estate and construction.
I suspect you have some knowledge about the whole ADA world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
So
yes. Oh, yes.
yes. And you know what's so interesting, and it doesn't get enough visibility and it doesn't get enough attention, is when I was at Paramount Global, I did, I, part of my job, I was hired during COVID and everything was shut down.
Mm,
So Paramount Global will do a lot of events to support the productions. You have,
mm.
right, a new movie coming out. You do premieres, you do screenings, you do all kinds of things. You do award shows and parties. Well,
Uh,
a lot of these things that were happening, events, weren't accounting for ADA. And when we think about ADA, Bruce, in the facilities world, we think about ADA from just an accessibility perspective,
right,
called the
right,
American Disabilities Act. And
right.
people will only think accessibility, right? Facilities, you're
You're
just
right,
thinking about ramps and push buttons
right,
to open
right.
doors. But when you talk about American Disabilities Act, and when I did compliance with ADA, I'm looking at food,
Oh,
labeling of food.
oh,
I'm
wow.
looking at people who have allergies that could be
Oh,
really catastrophic. Celiac disease. I'm thinking about people who need service animals. There
right.
are all different kinds of things you need to consider when you're hosting an event, not just accessibility to the venue.
So you had to provide labels when there's a buffet or whatever, and all
Right.
kinds of things. Yeah.
Right. So I didn't provide the labels, but what I would do was create the policies and procedures for
Ah,
the event planning teams to make sure that we were compliant with ADA.
Well, and I suspect you had to have some hand uh, signing going on and things like that to comply completely.
Correct. Correct. So then what we did, it even got to me working with editing and production teams to make sure closed captioning, because
Oh,
before they weren't even include when they Comic-Con. Paramount has a big presence at Comic-Con, but the
right.
closed captioning was not being included in the screenings that they were showing at Comic-Con. So
Oh,
you
wow.
weren't accounting for the contingent that might have hearing issues,
Right.
or, or you might need listening devices
Wow.
and closed captioning. So there's a larger world than just accessibility to the venue.
Right.
I like to think, look at things from a very comprehensive lens and make sure, are we really solving for everything that we can solve for to make sure it is inclusive?
Well, and that seems to kind of bring you full circle to this holistic nonprofit that you
Yeah,
have.
that's right.
You're trying to bring the whole
The whole.
the whole.
Yes. Yes. That's why it's holistic with a W.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
So trying to bring it all together.
Bring it all
Well,
together.
this is fascinating. We're going to have many future conversations, I think, about all of these different things.
I love
But
it.
just for fun, what's your favorite food or sandwich?
My favorite food is Mexican food. Specifically, my favorite dish is cheese enchiladas with green sauce and a dollop of sour cream with rice and beans. And I prefer the black beans over the refried
Oh
beans.
yeah, yeah, you gotta have the black beans for sure.
Right.
That's the much better choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite sandwich is a nice grilled cheese sandwich, really on sourdough bread. Homemade sourdough is actually the best, with avocado and tomato. And the avocado and tomato also being hot. And also a Dijon mustard, or more of a spicy mustard with that
Oh
going.
wow. You okay. We're gonna have to get together and have a grilled cheese sandwich one of these days. That
Absolutely.
sounds fantastic. It sounds like you're also a baker if you're making homemade sourdough bread.
I am a baker. I don't bake sourdough bread, but I'm love to make homemade biscuits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love homemade bit to bake, and I do like to bake. That's one of probably my favorite things to do, but not
Oh
in the bread. I don't want to get good at the bread, because then it's just
no, that's a whole
it's too
different
much.
world.
Exactly, because I
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah, you got to have the starter and yada yada yada.
yeah, the
Yeah, all
mother,
those good
yeah.
things.
Mhm.
So, who in the world, just for fun, who in the world would you like to sit? I know you gave me several choices, but anyway, we can go back. Who would you like to sit with this grilled cheese sandwich?
I think Jesse Owens. If
Yeah,
I had to
no.
pick one, I would love to talk to Jesse Owens. And even though Jesse Owens was an iconic track and field star, true star, um, there was a huge political element also with Jesse Owens, and he had to break down so many barriers, when all he wanted to do was just get out there and run track and win gold medals, you know?
Well, and that brings us to the fact that you were a sprinter in college.
I ran track at the University of California at Berkeley. Yes, go Bears.
Go Bears. That was pre the new stadium, I suppose.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Pre the new stadium and pre the ACC. When I ran track, I was in the Pac-10. Then it became the
Oh, oh,
Pac-12, and now it's the ACC.
yeah, well,
Lot of
wow.
changes.
We probably don't want to even venture into that whole world right now. It's just such a big mess.
So it it,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
it
oh, yeah.
yeah,
Likeness and image. Oh my God.
yeah, the
Yeah.
NIL. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We will pause there for the moment, but I do look forward to talking to you again in the near future because I think we have so many things in common. And it's going to be interesting to see where this nonprofit goes. I want to talk to you again in 3 to 6 months and see what you're up to.
I would love for that to happen. I think there's there's a gap that definitely needs to be filled. And I think really more than ever at this time that we need to build community. And I think there's so many different ways that we are connected, and there are more ways that we are alike than we are different. And I think we just need to hold on to that a little bit closer.
A lot more closely, yeah. So I just out of curiosity, how are you marketing your nonprofit?
Woo! So, I am on the socials and I probably could do a better job. You know, I'm a Gen X, so my whole marketing schematic is not where it needs to be, but I'm more of a grassroots person too. I like to exist in the authenticity of everything. So the whole social media I struggle with a little bit, but we're at Wholistic Soul org, holistic with a W, at Wholistic Soul org on Facebook, on IG. So feel free to follow us. We're creating more content. We do a community women's conference. The first one we did in June in Long Beach. We did a girls' night out. And more importantly, we are doing a charity golf tournament. And that charity golf tournament, the proceeds are going to both our social circles, but one that is a tremendous need and fills a great void, which is geared toward young men. It's a young men's cohort. These young men, the majority of them didn't go to college, but they've never been in trouble. Been raised in great households where they've been loved and cared for, but they're just haven't gotten as far in their journey as they would like. And so there's peer-to-peer discussion, just them. No therapists, no mentors, not me. It's for the men, and the Zoom calls are held by the men.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're there to hold each other accountable.
Well,
Stand
that's
for their truth.
fantastic.
Yeah, and be accountable to each other.
How many people are typically in one of these groups?
So we're starting the first one. The first meeting is on this Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So September 7th. I think we've got 5 young men. And this just is a culmination of parents like me are like, I need something this for my young man. Some of the young men are a little apprehensive and are pulling back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I of course they would be
Yes,
apprehensive
this
and
is yes.
not shy is not the right word, but pulling back. Yeah.
Well, definitely pulling back, but we want to really, there's only change and uncomfortability. No one really changes when they're comfortable. I mean, that's where you get status quo. And so we're trying to remove them from the status quo and light a little fire under the rear end and get them to move in a different direction. And once they do it, once again, I think the greatest dopamine and serotonin releases that we get are happy chemicals, are sky high when we are giving back to the community, when it's the give back. Less serotonin and dopamine, it's just a little blip. You might get a new car or a new outfit or new shoes, but it's a little blip. When you are actually giving and contributing and bringing value to the community, it's joy, not just happiness. It's joy. And that's just more sustainable. So that's what we're trying to expose them to, that they will have fuller and happier lives when they work together collectively on this accountability program.
That is fantastic. So what day is the golf tournament?
Oh, the golf tournament is October 23rd in Los Verdes, at Los Verdes Golf Course in Ranchos Palos Verdes. Even if some of your listeners can't come, we welcome for them to sponsor a young golfer
Oh,
who
that's
wants to
great.
play.
Yeah.
And they can find that on the homepage of holisticsoul.org. Right there, there's a registration for the golf tournament, and there's an option to play yourself or sponsor a player. So we would like the community support in this. and welcome anyone. You do not even have to be a golfer. This is all fun. This is about building community and coming on out and joining us in this golf tournament.
All right, people, let's get out there.
I love this.
All bucket or not, let's get there, the support going. All right. Well, this has been fantastic, Tiffany. I look forward to talking to you again in the near future.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.